If you are a San Diego County homeowner and you are even thinking about selling, stop scrolling right now. The latest San Diego County housing report, it just came out, and this one's packed with some warning signs, especially for you sellers. A lot more homes are hitting the market right now. The demand is down. What worked for you last year to sell a house may not work for you right now. Let's dive right in. My name is Heather Myers. I'm a San Diego native. I'm a longtime TV journalist here in San Diego County, and I'm a go-to realtor who is sharing housing market and money news with you. I follow this information so that way you don't have to. All right, let's start with sort of a bird's eye view. What is going on in the San Diego County housing market? And I'll tell you how much changed really just in the past couple of weeks. So from a 30,000 foot view, let's run through some of the numbers. Now, the market, I say, is cracking. It's not crashing. I said we are starting to see some cracks in the market. One of the things we're seeing is a major rise in inventory, meaning we are seeing a lot more homes flooding the San Diego County housing market. In fact, inventory is up 70% just from this time a year ago. Now, for buyers, that's usually great news. Buyers think, okay, perfect, there's more to choose from. And for the most part, that's absolutely the case. However, demand, it's dropping. It's actually down 4% year over year and just 6% in the past couple of weeks. So we're starting to see more buyers hit the brakes on getting into the market. Meanwhile, though, sellers, homes are popping up on the market right and left. The problem is a lot of them are sitting. Not all of them are selling. And I'm going to dive into that in just a little while, is why we are seeing more homes sitting and not selling right now. There are more than 5,400 homes on the market in San Diego County right now. That's actually the most since 2019. That's right before the pandemic. In fact, despite that inventory being 70% higher than last year and demand being down 4% year over year, I will tell you this, affordability, it's the main culprit. We talk about those mortgage rates. Yeah, those mortgage rates are up, especially compared to what we saw before the pandemic, but they are not as high as they were at the same time a year ago. So when we take the mortgage rates out of the mix, what's the biggest difference right now? It's fear. There are a lot of people that are concerned with what's going on in the economy. They've seen the stock market go through this roller coaster effect over the past couple of weeks. As soon as we started to see the headlines about tariffs, a lot of people started pumping the brakes. Should I make a big financial purchase right now? So we have buyers playing the wait and see game. Meanwhile, sellers, they're putting their homes on the market, and a lot of them are still expecting top dollar or even more than their neighbor just. So the big question is, how are the home prices holding up right now? What do they look like in San Diego County? By and large, it depends on who you ask, because I have noticed in following these numbers and tracking this data for many, many months now, is that the data from CAR, which is the California Association of Realtors, versus the data from SDAR, the San Diego Association of Realtors, versus the data from even what I see on Zillow and Realtor.com, they can be different numbers. But according to the latest data, we are looking at a median home price in San Diego as far as sales price at just over $1 million. And that's the latest data from March of this year. We'll see that number adjust over the next couple of weeks. It also shows that the median list price right now, according to Realtor.com, is lower than that at $979,000. And we are seeing that prices for detached homes are a little bit higher than they were this same time a year ago. But I mentioned cracks in the market, not a crashing market. So we may start to see that number drop down as more people are putting their homes on the market, but fewer people are ready to buy at this hour. So don't let these numbers fool you. Again, we are talking about a lot of homes on the market, but because there are fewer buyers, it's taking longer to sell. According to the latest reports on housing, get this, it is taking on average over 90 days right now to get your home sold. Now, if you're priced accordingly and appropriately, it's a lot less than that. And there's very strategic ways to make sure that you are priced to get your home sold. It's one of the things that I tell clients. My goal is to make sure that you sell your home with the least amount of hassle in the least amount of time for the most amount of money. The problem is, for some people out there, they're not dealing with that. They're dealing with homes sitting on the market right now because they weren't priced strategically as soon as they hit the market. So, with 90 days on average, meaning that that's how long it's taking people to sell their homes, that's the most amount of days since 2012. And well over a decade, we're seeing it take longer to sell a home than it ever has since 2012. So, that's a big number. And it's something that you need to keep in mind if you hit the market or you're planning to sell anytime soon. Just know that if you're not priced appropriately for this market right now, you're going to sit. It's going to get frustrating, and chances are you could end up going through multiple price reductions in order to find the right buyer for your house. And it's not just the San Diego County housing market that's seeing this. It's really markets all over the state of California. Even Vegas is noticing that buyer demand has dropped, because I've looked at some of the numbers from LA County, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, even all the way up to the Bay Area. And we are noticing that buyer demand is down and it's taking a lot longer to sell homes. In fact, in LA County, it's taking on average well over 100 days to get your home sold. So translation in all of this, if your home is not priced competitively right from the get-go and it's not marketed well, buyers are pickier right now. They have a lot more to choose from, and unfortunately your home will sit instead of sell if all of these factors are not taken into account the moment that you hit the market. Okay, so what does this mean for you? If you are a seller, do not rely on the frenzy anymore. Rely on strategic pricing and strategic marketing. If you're a buyer, you may have a bit of an opportunity in this market. You may have a chance to come in, to negotiate either on the price or some of the concessions, and you may have an opportunity to walk away feeling like you got a little bit of a deal. So do look at some of the homes that have been sitting on the market for a while, and you may want to start to really strategically target some of those listings, because chances are those sellers are getting frustrated. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, just know that it's crucial that you work with somebody who understands the micro markets here in San Diego County, because what's going on in Chula Vista could be different than what's happening in Carlsbad. What's going on in Carmel Valley could be very different than what we're seeing in Poway. By the way, if you want to get in contact with me, all of my information is on my bio right here on YouTube. Also, if you want to see more videos like this one, I follow the housing market, so you don't have to. Hit the subscribe button.